Hi everybody, this is Cheryl with Creative Wreaths and Flowers, and I'm sorry if you just saw the little snippet I did on live. I'm back on live now. My phone rang and my husband, who has gone out to pick up my son-in-law, they go to the gym afterwards. I forgot to call and tell him that the Bruins won, yay, because he had to leave right before the game ended. Now that that's over, what we're going to do tonight is I want to get the mesh on my homemade working wreath form that I did, so that if it's a beautiful day tomorrow like it was today, almost 50, I think it was 50 degrees today, I can go out and spray it and seal it. And I'm hoping to find some UV protectant to spray on them too. I use spray starch. Got this little can. I have to leave the lid half off because I can't get it up. But I got this little can of spray starch from the Dollar Tree, which I've been using on the mesh when I can't get outside, because the sealer you do not want in the house, so I spray them out in my driveway. And when I do that, I also wear a charcoal paint mask because it's quite aromatic and they tell me it's toxic. So, but I just have been using the heavy starch can I got for $1 at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to put that over there. I'm going to turn you around to my table because the last time I went out shopping, I picked up some really neat stuff for St. Patrick's Day. So I wanted to make a couple more St. Patrick's Day wreaths to have in my collection, which will be available. And I will open an Etsy store on the 1st of February. Hi, Patty. How are you? I hope you can talk to me tonight. So I'm going to turn you around here. I've also changed my camera angle. I think maybe this will work out a little better for us and you can see better what I'm doing. Anyway, when I was out, because I'm going to move these out of my way, because I got some more little St. Patrick's Day hats. I'm throwing these over here in my bucket. I have to keep them up or Lamba eats them. And then I believe I got these at either Joann's or Hobby Lobby's. They're just some shamrocks. And everybody keeps talking about the Deco Mesh cords, and I had never seen them. But at the Dollar Tree, they had these cute little headbands that have these cords on them. And I'm going to deconstruct the headband and perhaps use the little shamrocks and the Deco Mesh cords that are on there. So got some of that. And then I saw these. This was what originally made me want to make another St. Patrick's Day wreath. I got, these are little carnations. They have a clip, green on white and green on green. So I have a variety of those. And now I'm starting to get into using ribbon and using signs. So I picked up some signs. This is one of them. I used one of these when I made my first St. Patrick's Day wreath. And I don't hang them like this on the wreath. I cut them apart and use the different parts. I may just use the hat. Oops. I may just use the hat that says welcome. I may just use shamrocks, whatever mood hits. And I picked this up, I believe, I don't remember. It was either Dollar Tree. Usually I get my things at Dollar Tree, Joann's, or Hobby Lobby. And I could use it like this. I could take this part off and just use this. I can just use the outer part. And this little guy I got at the Dollar Tree. And he is so cute. And he actually has moving parts. And I might take him apart and put that on a wreath, or I might leave him like he is. He's kind of big. I, of course, picked up more gold coins. You can never have enough. I wish they were real. I found this at, I believe, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember if it was Joann's or Hobby Lobby. I usually go to just one of them at a time, but this time I went to both at the same time, so you can paint them. It says Lucky Charm, but I think I'll just leave it in its raw wood form. I kind of like it like that, and I think it will show up better if you especially use dark green. Got this at the Dollar Tree that I might use. It is like a garland. Yeah, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's like little shamrocks on a wire. And then I'm starting to use the ribbon now. I'm graduating up. I'm playing with the big kids. And so I bought this gold. It's 2.5 inch. I got this. I know I got this at Joann's because it says Maker's Holiday. I'm not positive where I got this one, but it's a green. And all of these are, I usually try to buy wired because wired works better. I have this green. It's kind of green sparkly. I love sparkles. This came from part of my Christmas stuff, I believe, but it works. This, I have this, it's like a green sparkle. I found this white that's 1.5 inches, and it's shamrocks, gold and green on white. And then I got this, and I want to open this because these were so cute. I don't know how I'm going to use them, but we're going to figure it out. It's kind of hard to show you when it's in the roll. So I'm going to carefully open it. Got to get the plastic off. And then it sticks to my hand. But it's just shamrocks. And I don't know, I really like that. So I got one, then I lost it because Lambda had drug it somewhere. I think, as you can see, I have little chew marks. So I picked up a couple more. So that's the ribbon I have to work with when we go to decorate. But tonight, what I plan on doing is I just want to get the mesh on the working form. And I wanted to show you the working form because I've done something different with this one. This is a 14-inch Dollar Tree form, wreath form. I went and ordered a case of them so I would have them to use. Because a lot of people like door wreaths, and the door wreaths need to be not as poofy. So I feel if I use a working form, they might be too thick. This one will lay down more. And what I did is I'm using 3 colors tonight. It's 10-inch mesh, and I've cut them because I wanted to keep this one so it was flatter for a door. I've cut them in a 15-inch length. Now I've worked with the 20-inch length, and I've worked with the 10-inch length. But this one I cut 15-inch length, and we're going to see how that works out for us. And then, of course, we have our little mascot, the little easel. We're not going to need it. But what I did is I coordinated my stems, as I call them, with the color mesh I'm going to use. So the color mesh we're going to use tonight, and I cut these 6 at a time. I have this gold mesh. Then I have, and I really think when I counted my stems, because I only put 1 piece on each stem, I really think that I cut a lot. I cut 6 times 5. I cut 30 pieces. However, I'm only going to use 8 of each color. So I'll use 2 of my bundles that I made. So the other ones I'm going to do a second wreath. I'm not sure exactly what style. I did a Easter wreath earlier. I showed you I was on live, and I decorated an Easter wreath that I made for a little gal down at the Dollar Tree. And what I did was I did small petals on the bottom rung, and then I did a ruffle style, 2 ruffles per stem or per tie on the top rung. But I made that on a small 10-inch plastic wreath. Oops. Let me grab that, because if I don't, it will disappear from our site if Lambo wakes up. She's over on the other side of my decorations. So if she wakes up and decides to get adventurous, my mesh will go away because she thinks all mesh should belong to her. Anyway, back to where we were. I'm going to use the gold. I am also using emerald green. And I got these all. The emerald green, I believe I got at Joann's during the Christmas season. The other two I bought over at Hobby Lobby, because every other week, either flowers or materials. Anyway, they do a half off. I bought emerald green. I cut emerald green. And then I don't know, because they don't really put the colors on the package, which would be very helpful for me, because I sometimes have an issue with colors, and I really need granimals for grown-ups when I get dressed. But this is kind of thin, but I'm thinking that it will fill out okay. And then this is like a lime or an apple green. So that is what we're going to put on our working wreath form, excuse me. And as you can see, what I did was color coordinate my stems to match my mesh. So we'll put the gold in the gold, the light green in the light green one, and then the dark green in the emerald. We're hoping these work. Actually, I'd already cut these to be half the size of each. These are full-length Chenille Stems or pipe cleaner. This is half of one. But since I'm only going to be using one piece of mesh per tie, I do believe it'll work. And then later we'll decide exactly what kind of decorating we'll do with it. But that will be tomorrow, because I'm still at the point where I like to seal my wreaths because I'm not comfortable with these. Don't fray as bad as the Dollar Tree mesh frays really bad. And I'm still trying to figure out exactly how to work with it so it doesn't fray as bad. I tried spraying it with the starch before I used it on the edges. That didn't seem to help. So I'm thinking I might just incorporate it with all my other mesh and use it as highlights, maybe in a ruffle form or something with the other mesh, because it's not a bad mesh. It just sprays a lot. So I hope this camera angle, I'm going to move this mesh back so you can see better. But I hope this camera angle works for everybody. If not, let me know. I believe I got this at Hobby Lobby. I also got a really cute welcome sign. It kind of needs to go on a larger wreath. So I have that set to the side for now, but I really thought it was cool, so I got it. But anyway, I'm going to start putting the colors on here, and I'll just start with the emerald green, and I'm just going to use the ruffle pattern. Like I said, this is 10 by 15. And I know we've done this before, but I don't know what people really like to watch. So you just find your middle. I'm not good at this yet. I will be someday. But you just kind of spread your fingers out, move up the middle, holding it. Try not to get it caught on another one. And you just keep scrunching all the way up the middle till you have it all done. Then you want to pinch it, and it comes out looking kind of like, they call it a bow tie. Oops. I just like to make sure it kind of has its shape and that I kind of have it even. And we just take our working form. Now this is one of the smaller ones. I just opened the tie up, and this one didn't stick good. What I did was, when I put these on, the ones that aren't attached with a crossbar, I put a little bit of glue, but apparently that one slid off. But that's all right. We'll make it work. Just stick it down in there. And since I'm going to put some ribbon on these shorter green ones, I think what I'll do is go ahead and tie them down and then use floral wire or another pipe cleaner to help with the ribbons down. But you just want to get it tight. Usually you just do one turn, because you're going to open it back up to put your ribbon in. Since on these small ones, I do have one regular size one on. And then you just kind of want to puff and form your ruffle. And then our next one is a gold. And I did this too because for me this helps, because sometimes, especially if I'm talking and working, I forget where I'm at. And when I did the Easter wreath, I used 5 colors. So I would have to go back and look at all the colors and think. I try to keep them in their little bundles the way I cut them, but when you're alternating them, you have to take the bundles apart. So it worked out with the other one because I was just using one piece. So I would just take the top piece off, and that's the one I used, and then go to the next. And this has a thicker middle gold strip, and we're actually kind of going to make it go away because that's where we're going to roll or pinch our ruffle. I don't know if you can hear me, Patty, but thank you for joining. Let everybody know, like and share, let your friends know. I put a post out today and I'm so excited I got an order, which is actually my first order, so that excited me. And we're going to put this down in here. And like I said, I'm just going to tie this one down one time because we'll come back and we may put ribbon in, and if we don't, then we'll tie it off. And you want to make it good and tight. Just fluff your ruffle out. Try to make it be the way you want it to be. I'm kind of stretching sometimes, whatever. Take our lime green, and we're just going to go all the way around the outside ring. I like to do the outside first. I don't know why. It's just personal preference, I guess. But I do it because I like to see the top ruffle over top of the bottom ruffle. So to me, and I'm probably going to go back. There are a few little, you can see a few little frays, but really this isn't fraying very badly. So I will go back and snip all the frays before I spray it. Don't want to get that gold in there. We're going to pull it back and then just stuff and twist. And I was kind of excited because these stems actually came from the Dollar Tree. They got some in their spring colors now, and it's a variety pack and they have different colors. So I opened a couple of them up and used, like I said, color similar to what I wanted. Now this one, oh, that's on a, I did not glue on the ones that are around the cross tie, the cross metal here, because they don't slide back and forth. That's why I glued the ones in the middle, because they will slide back and forth. And this actually goes pretty fast if you want to if you ever make a wreath. Once you get used to how to make your ruffles and get your ruffles going, you got to kind of spread your fingers out. That's what I kind of forget. You just want to, but it does go pretty fast. It doesn't take too awful long to do this. When I first started, actually, what I did mostly was just put the mesh on, maybe a couple of little decorations. But now I'm starting to get into the bling of things. So I'm going to just tie that down once and see if I can use it. It's kind of small. I like to use longer and trim off because it's easier for me with my fingers. Just make sure I get my ruffle out there. We're ready for a gold. Now, you can put this down on your Fiskar board so that you know where the center is. I can kind of tell on the gold because it has the big strip down the middle. It's kind of a weird feel. I was watching Lori at Hardworking Moms last night, and I am so jealous of all the people out on the East Coast. They have a store called AC Moore's, which first I was thinking paint, but it's actually a craft store there, and they have the neatest Deco Mesh. They say it doesn't fray. I think she said they called it Deco Metal. Anyway, it looks like a mesh that it's not mesh like this. It's kind of more of an almost a material like thing, but it had looked like paint splatters on it. And I'm very jealous because to get it, AC Moore does not sell online. So to get that mesh, I would have to drive down to the East Coast to Georgia, or I'm not sure exactly where all the AC Moores are at. I do know they're in Georgia. And I would have to drive down there to get it. And I'm actually so jealous, I told Mike, well, might have to grab that RV and take off and have a little vacation, because I really would like to have some. They say it's a little bit more expensive, but you don't have to use a lot of it. It covers really well. And it just made the cutest wreath. She was making an Easter wreath last night. And it just made the cutest wreath. And she didn't use very much, but it really accented the wreath. I believe the color she used was pink, and she was making a blue and white striped bunny wreath. She had a bunny kit she put on it, and it was just gorgeous. And then I saw another one online today, and they had used like an olive green color, and it looked very nice. It really accents the wreath well. And so my hands are being a little, they're giving me a little trouble. My fingers are tonight, but that's okay. We're going to make this work. And then when we're done, I think I'll measure how thick this is. I'm not sure. I was going to trim that up a little bit. I'm not sure how thick it needs to be. I know that when I made my last, well, not the last one, but the first St. Patrick's Day wreath I made, I did hang that on a door, and the screen door closed with it just fine. And I can't remember, to get old enough. That one, I believe, I made on a working form. And I hung it on my son's door because I'm in charge of that kind of stuff. And I cannot wait for the spring weather because I need to get out. Yes, poinsettias in the flower box. I definitely want to get out. I have a bunch of roses that I bought during when they first came out at the Dollar Tree, and I'd like to get those out in there because then it's going to be time soon after that to go back over and change out and go into spring flowers. Because I have decided that fake flowers will fit in his flower box better than actual live flowers. The live flowers that they had in there from the people that owned the house before him, they kind of just, they were in a clay pot or a plastic pot, and they just like burned up. So I decided, well, I didn't want to go over there every day and water them, and other people probably wouldn't water them, so I will put in fake ones, and then maybe they'll last longer and look better, and there won't just be dead plants hanging out in there. Although it takes quite a few flowers. I make 3 or 4 different pots I put out in front of my house. And they take a nice amount of flowers, but nothing like Usually I get half of this flower box done. I have to go back and buy more flowers. Hence why I get them usually at the Dollar Tree. I did have fall flowers in there, and then we changed over to the poinsettias during the Christmas season before it got cold, because it was so nice and warm for a while. And now I'm not going back over there until it warms up again, because it's too cold to stand out and change flowers in flower box. What I do is I put styrofoam or the floral foam. I don't like the crunchy one. I like the softer one. And I get those at Dollar Tree. And I've got them either taped or zip tied down in there so they don't blow away, because it gets a lot of wind. And then I stick my flowers down in there. So. And then this is the first year I've ever really dealt with anything. I have irises and sedums here that I grow on the sides of my house. My father actually planted the irises when I moved in several years ago. And lately, every year I've had to thin them. I had so many iris bulbs this last fall. But they won't bloom if you let them get root locked. So I thinned them, but I have never dealt with, Mom and Dad had poinsettias. Not poinsettias, peonies. Or I think here they call them peonies. We call them peonies. And I had never dealt with how to take care of a peony. And come to find out, after season, after they've bloomed and they start dying out, you cut them all the way back to be about, have a stem on them of about an inch. Or so Google said. So I did that, and we will see if they come back. I didn't believe you could prune things that much. And I would be very interested. Last year when we were in Florida, my mother-in-law trimmed her pomegranate tree. And I mean, she cut it down till it almost looked like a stump. So I would like to have gone down there to just see what her pomegranate, what it looks like now. Because I thought if you would cut something back that far, it would die. But she said no. So since she's had the tree for a long time, I would guess she knows. Because I certainly don't. My dad was the one that was always the green thumb in our home. He had tons of flowers. And my green thumb can actually kill plastic flowers. So just until recently, after I quit working, I really didn't try to do much with flowers, because I know my luck with them. But you kind of get used to it and you move on. Kind of like wreath. I started out with just putting down the mesh. Then I started putting a little bling. Then Melinda said make a colorful one, and I did, and I kind of like that. And so now I tend to decorate them more. It's like, this is the canvas the painter artist works on. So I do love to make humongous wreaths. Problems are shipping and having a place to hang them. The snowflake I have outside of my house is just huge. And it's still holding up very well. It was just, I actually didn't spray it till after I had it hung. And I thought, well, I better spray that with some sealer before I let it hang out here in the weather. And then right after I hung it, I took down the Christmas one, and right after I hung it, we've had 2 big snowstorms. I don't know if you call them big snowstorms. People around here did. And so it actually, I took a picture of it and I posted it after it's been out there through these 2 storms. And it's holding up very, very well. I'm very happy. Because I figure if you're making and selling a product, by goodness golly, you need to know what's going on. You need to know how to act. So I do some demo, what I call my demo reads. I see how they react. I see how people treat them. I see what comes out of them. Like I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. In case anybody new ever pops on or watches, I made 2 petal candy cane style, not in the shape of a candy cane, but the mesh was candy cane, red and white stripe. And I made 2 of them to hang out on Sean's light fixtures on his garage. Luckily, we did zip tie them to it, or I'm pretty sure they would have become somebody else's wreaths. And I put them up, and I can't remember exactly when, but between Thanksgiving and Easter. And I just took them down last week. And needless to say, they weren't sealed or anything. So needless to say, if it's really windy, they do fray. And we could have saved them. I could have made them look a little better for next year. But they were some of the very first ones I ever made. And watching YouTube and all the wonderful advice given by everybody on YouTube, a lady said, and she actually said, you can take them apart and reuse the ring for different seasons, and if your mesh is good, you can save your mesh and reuse it. And if I do this much work to put one together, I am not taking it apart. I'll store it, and I'll just take it out for the next season. But these, and then the first mesh I used must have been on his other ones that I hung on his front door and out by his front light. It must have been more of a, because there's different kinds of Deco Mesh. This one is probably more of a, maybe they call it a poly mesh, kind of plasticky, metallic stuff. And I know when it melts, it gives an odor, and you probably shouldn't smell it if you use a heat source to cut. Heat sources are good though, because they really cut down on the frame, because it makes little knobs on each little cross so that it doesn't go out. I swear there is a green one. Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, here it is. I knew there was one. You start filling them up, and the mesh kind of covers up your tie, and it gets a little difficult. That's another good reason that I like to color coordinate them if I can, because it just helps. But I knew there was a light green apple one somewhere. You can kind of, if you don't like the way that, your mesh is, you can kind of pull on it. That gave more than I thought it would. But anyway, so this is the first round. This is on the bottom. And we have filled up on the bottom. And it took 4 pieces of each of the meshes. So 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 pieces of mesh on the bottom. And then maybe it takes more than I thought it did. I don't know. I may be an old confused woman again. I'm going to move this out and move up. It's fine. That's kind of getting tired there. I just sit on my couch. I don't have a separate craft room because I don't have that much space down here. So this is my playroom and my living room and my craft room, and you name it. This is the room we have that we do everything in. And then we have a good sized bedroom, but that's just where all the wreaths hang. I keep them there. I know I just set mesh over here. Alrighty then. Oh, right in front of me. So this one I'm going to start with a gold. And we're going to fill in the top mesh, or the top ring. And we just keep doing the same process all the way around. And I'm not going to put any ribbon on this tonight because when you do spray these with sealer, the ribbon, it's not good for the ribbon because it will stain it, spot it. Now the starch I have used before after I put on the ribbon, and I didn't seem to have a problem with it. My thought with the starch is, well, you spray it on your clothes and it doesn't like discolor them, so you must be able to spray it on your ribbon. And I was right. It didn't discolor it. So I'm going to pull these apart because the lime or the apple, whichever color it is that I need. The only time I get names for these is if I'm going on Paper Mart, which I did get my Paper Mart order today. I'm very excited. And, okay, that can stay on the floor. But anyway, you order by color. Now, one thing I'm on the search for, they were out of stock, and they have not sent me an email to say they are back in stock. I am in the market for black mesh. And I'm going to use the black mesh. I'm going to make some team-themed wreaths. And so I need some black mesh. And I needed white mesh. They had white mesh, though, so I did secure, I believe I got 2 the other day at Hobby Lobby, but I got 5 more rolls through PaperMate. And they're very, actually, the way I looked at it, it's very affordable because it cost me the amount I ordered 15 rolls of mesh. And the amount of mesh that I ordered came out to be about the same cost as the shipping. But the mesh, most of their mesh isn't over the price of $3. So, and they have some very pretty stuff and stuff I couldn't find. I've been looking for a while for black and white. I've had a horrible time trying to find white mesh. So I was on the hunt. And I'll let you know when I use it. A lot of people use Paper Mart and they use Craft Outlet. And they seem to like the mesh from both of those places. Like I said, I'm not versed enough yet to tell you what kind of mesh and the different meshes. I just buy them. If I like them, I'll buy them again. And if I didn't like them, I remember and I won't do it. Kind of like with the floral foam. I started out with, I'm not sure if they call it wet, but it's a softer type of floral foam. And then they have the one that is just crunchy, hard foam. And all the time I have been doing, when you go to a florist to get floral foam, it's the first time I did that. Of course, that's been 98, 2008, 20 years. My mom sent me to a florist to get some because we needed to put some in the vases on my dad's headstone. And they gave me the wet kind or the softer kind. And once you've worked with the softer kind, you can cut it with a butter knife. You can, you can play with it. But before you get that foam stuff in, you might as well just chunk it. Because it doesn't cut, it doesn't, So I like to stay with the softer floral foam, which that will be coming up. I'm one of the, because you're all on the voyage with me, Patty, from the very beginning. And what I'm going to do this year, I get confused because I'm working on St. Patrick's Day, so of course my brain says, oh, it must be March, and it's not even February yet. That's why it stopped making Valentine's wreaths, because I really kind of felt that I had passed that season. But, sorry, there was a lot of spraying on here, and it's driving me a little insane. Anyway, I want to make, and I have never done this, so I can't wait until Hardworking Mom puts out her tutorial. But I want to make what they call a wreath on a saddle form. And that's the one that fits on top of your headstone. So even though they have uh, the bases on their headstone, and I always buy the mom and dad wreaths, usually at Walmart. I've never made them before. This year I'm making them all. I'm going to be crafty. But if I put a wreath on it, since I'm 3.5 hours away or so, I think maybe it's only 3 or 2.5 now since they raised the speed limit. I'm not there to go back. Usually they let them sit there from Memorial Day for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And then they go through and they clean it all off, and that's so that they can do maintenance, mow the grass and so forth. Luckily for me, my aunt has gone out and picked up, if they're still in good condition, picked them up before. But I have also been out there when I've just seen mounds and mounds of wreaths and flowers because they just put them in a spot. And I thought, well, maybe, because I don't get down there very often at all. I probably should go down more often, but I just don't get there. It's a long drive to me. And I thought that maybe if I did a wreath on a saddle form that fit on top of the headstone, they probably won't take that off, and it's not in their way for them to do maintenance around and mowing things, because that's the problem. They just can't do it with all the flowers down. So I thought, wow, this is interesting. So I actually bought a small saddle form. I got it at Hobby Lobby. I want to say it was like $4. But from that point on, I don't know what to do. I would assume if you're putting, it'll be more flowers than it will be. I don't even know if I'll use Deco Mesh, to tell you the truth. Because to me, Deco Mesh might not weather well there, and since I am not there to monitor it, I don't want to put something out that might look tacky. But so I've been slowly but surely collecting flowers. I collect them in a blue and a purple. My dad loved purple flowers, and I think my mom kind of loved blue. I usually do different things on each side, because one I think of as mom's and one I think of as dad's. I don't know if I'll do that this year because I'm getting kind of OCD in my old age. They might have to match, but I don't think so. They might take some roses down for my mom. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, because I will definitely do the saddle form, the 2 bases, and then put wreath on. And I might even make a flower wreath and put it on a wreath stand form. Then my grandparents are also there, but they have a different style. Their base is in the middle. So kind of confused on if I was to do saddles for them, what I would use and how I would do it, since they have, there's a stone base stone. But I definitely go down there. Nobody has changed the flowers out. I'll put my flowers in. If they have changed the flowers out, then I kind of just set them there. But I'll be having some of them, and then I have my Uncle Bud there. Sorry, I'm looking for gold. And lost my mesh. I got more. Got plenty. But then I won't make him a saddle, but I'll definitely want to get him a wreath and make it. And I was thinking, I'm sure I could find it online, but I'm thinking I'll just go to a florist and see if I can buy the ribbon that says Mom, Dad, Grandma, Grandpa, Uncle. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. I still have a couple months. But that is on my agenda, and I will probably do that online. That's part of the flower portion. Like I was telling somebody today, most of my flowers are out that I do. The ones I do are outdoors. The only ones that I've ever done really indoors, I can make a you know, centerpiece or whatever. The only ones that we really made a lot of indoor flowers for was we worked on Melinda's wedding. Mike and I made all the flowers. And I only was thinking about that because someone asked today, hey, so-and-so wants me to make a bridal bouquet. And, you know, do you have any suggestions? And I was like, well, this is the bridal bouquet that I made my daughter. And this is how I did it. And I think the flowers came out really pretty. They all matched and had very nice centerpieces. And made little votive cups. Can't remember the candy I used. Maybe it was called Sixlets. I don't know. We got them at Nobby's and they were in their wedding colors. And, but yeah, that was fun. That gave me something. I had a whole year to do that. So that gave us something to do. Because we made the card. Michael made most of the carnations. I'd had some surgery, so I was in the hospital and in a rehabilitation facility for about, I guess I was about 2 to 3 weeks. And so I was like, bring it here, maybe I'll feel well enough that I can work on them. And mostly I slept and he made all the carnations. I did make crepe paper roses, which was a thing my mother taught me long ago. We never bought flowers. I don't remember, I was young. But maybe they really didn't have that many artificial silk flowers you could buy just at the store. But my mother had a list of people that we visited every Memorial Day. And we cut fresh flowers. My dad had irises and peonies. And then my mother, and sometimes I would help. I wasn't overly good at it, but I can do it. Would make crepe paper, which you cannot find unless you look online these days. How times have changed. Roses. And in fact, when she made her crepe paper roses, then we stood in the kitchen by a big pot of wax. Like it's the kind of wax you use when she used to can jelly. She would put, instead of putting a lid on it, she'd put a wax on top. And by golly, we would take those crepe paper roses and cut the petals out, put them on the end of your stem, wrap it with thread, cover it from there down with floral tape, and she would take those and dip them in this wax so that she had, because if anybody's ever worked with crepe paper, if it gets wet, you are in trouble. So she would wax them so that they would stand up and withhold the weather. And let me tell you what, we made a lot. And then for my junior prom, because you know the juniors always decorate for the seniors, my mother and my mother more so than I, actually made roses to decorate the senior prom. I believe they were all white and red. There might have been some pink. But I'm telling you what, that lady could make a rose that was absolutely gorgeous. So I did make a few roses, and then I gave up and went to Hobby Lobby and bought flowers. There were some flowers I could make carnations, and I could make roses, but Melinda likes orchids and calla lilies. And there is no way I would know how to make an orchid or a calla lily. So those got bought. But we ended up making lots and lots of flowers. So that's why this is called Creative Wreath and Flowers, because I do know how to make the flowers. I do know how. I've never had any formal training, but I feel that her flowers turned out really decent. So I apparently can arrange the flowers. I made the boutonnieres. I made the corsages. And I really, it's something I like to do. It makes me feel good. It makes other people smile. Sometimes they don't. But if it makes somebody smiles and makes them feel good and it makes me feel good, then it's a good thing. That's my thought. That's why I make the wreaths, because I like to make them. They're relaxing for me. And some of them I feel turn out really pretty. And if somebody else likes them and it makes them smile, then I have accomplished the goal I have set out for. So this gold does fray a bit, but that's okay, because that's why we have these. In fact, I watched a few YouTubes and everybody talks about these. These are the Betty Crocker cooking scissors at Dollar Tree. They're very sharp. You can have a nutcracker if you want to eat some walnuts or pecans. Yes, I call them pecans, not pecans. Peonies. I only knew that up here they don't call them peonies, they call them peonies, because there was a small amusement park like for little kids, and it was called Peony Park, but I called it Peony Park, and then people would look at me and wonder what I was talking about. So, and then Michael, where he comes from, which is out on the East Coast in Boston, they call them pecans. Yeah, we call them pecans. So I guess it just matters where you're at. And being former military and moving around, I didn't move around a lot, but I moved around enough in different places. You sort of have to conform to what. One more line. And one more. And it works out perfect, because that's exactly what we have our mesh for. But anyway, I digress. Aren't you so glad you're here, Patty, hearing about all the background? And you were there for most of it, so I'm probably boring you to death. I think this is going to make a really pretty and colorful one. Some of the first ones I made, I just used green and gold, but I saw this lime apple. I kind of liked it, so I thought, well, that would kind of brighten it up a little bit. It wouldn't be as, some of the first ones were kind of, I don't know if you call it dark, but it was kind of hard also to see some of the decorations, because the decorations are dark green and the mesh is dark green, so it kind of negates the decorations that are on the wreath. So down in here I got to do one more. That's what I thought. One more. We have one more dark green to get on, and then we have all of our mesh on, and then I'll just have to trim and spray. And like I said, tonight that's all we're going to do is put the mesh on, because I do want to spray it and seal it off. And from what I understand, you do that with your mesh. And I assume a lot of people don't, because when you watch the tutorials, they go right from, here's how you cut the mesh, here's how you put it on, here's how we put on our decorations. So I'm assuming in that case, they don't seal the wreath, because I was told you seal the wreath with only your mesh on it. The mesh is the only thing that is sealed. You do not seal your decorations, nor do you seal your ribbon. Okay, this is our last one. This is one of those little ties. I won't make that mistake again, but since I cut so many for a different project, a different wreath I'd done earlier, I couldn't see waist in. There was one wreath I did in a double petal style. It's actually the Valentine's Day wreath I need to get delivered. And instead of using a zip tie, I did use a small pipe cleaner to attach each one of those. Like I said, that one was a labor of love. It turned out very pretty, but it was a lot of work. It took a lot of time. But I'm saying, I remember that these are still up because we're going to put ribbon on it tomorrow. Or I'm going to put ribbon on it tomorrow. I don't know if I'll be able to get back online or not. Wasn't sure I was coming. This is the second time I've been on today because I wanted to get that Easter one finished, and then I knew there was a game tonight. But nobody hopped on with me this morning, so it's more like just a video. You can go back and watch it. And I tell you, I was watching somebody, and I kind of had to laugh. They said, people would say, I didn't get to see the first of this video. How do I go back to see the first? And the lady said, well, hit like, and it will come up on your timeline. And that is true. But you don't have to hit like to watch the whole video. All you have to do is go to that particular page, go to that particular video. It can, I mean, I'm assuming that they do save it to their page. I tried to save all of these. I didn't save the little snippet I did earlier because I was on for like 2 seconds and hadn't done anything with my call. But I tried to save them all, and then people can go back and watch them, you know, if they want to see how I did something, if they want to see, you know, how I put it on. And so all you have to do is go back to that actual person. But the instructions were to like and share. And you don't have to do those things to watch my videos from the beginning. It'd be wonderful if you do, because when you like it, it comes up, you know, I don't know if they're brownie. I don't know all of that. But if you share it, then all your friends can see it. And that's good for me. But it's not necessary. So you don't have to like and share to watch them all the way. You just have to go to Creative Wreaths and Flowers and search for, I even believe they have a button that says videos. And it should bring up there every video I've done or every live I've done. Sometimes I do videos. I haven't done that lately. And I just go on live. I kind of, live makes me nervous. And actually one day I was on a Sunday and 4 people joined me. And I kind of freaked out because I've never had that many people join me at once. But someday they will, I'm sure. Hopefully. Just like I thought I would never get an order. So there you go. And like I said, on a high note, I got all my stuff in. I got my state ID number. I got my bank account opened. I got a PayPal account. I have a Google Wallet for paying for incoming money. And I will open an Etsy shop the 1st of February. And I'm waiting for that because, like I said, I don't have any boxes on hand. I do have them on order. I went through Amazon. Because I could get them on Amazon Prime, so I didn't have shipping. Because apparently boxes, when you get them in bundles, are very heavy. Because I was thinking about going through papermart.com. But Amazon Prime is a good thing to use. So they're coming through Amazon Prime. And I said to myself, you know, Char, you can go ahead. Because I started to go ahead and open an Etsy shop. And I said, well, if you go ahead and open it, my luck would be someone would want something right then. Because I see all these people, of course I'm dreaming now, that say, I put this on Etsy and it sold within 2 minutes. I would freak out. I'd have to, you know, celebrate, dance around, do fun stuff. And I thought, if I don't wait for the boxes, that will happen. However, I am going to wait for the boxes, and now my luck, nobody will order one for 2 weeks. And I could have gone ahead and opened the shop, but that's okay. I'd rather be prepared like a Boy Scout than not. All right, so here we are. I have gotten all the mesh on. This is what this one looks like. I was trying to trim off some of them. I'm sorry. Let me push this camera up just a little more. This is what this one looks like as far as the mesh. And I'll spray it tomorrow, and you spray it, wait 30 minutes, spray it again, wait 30 minutes, and then it should be dry enough to decorate. So I will be decorating it tomorrow. If you want to join me, that's great. If I don't come on live, I'll try to film it so that I can put it on just as a video. And I always take pictures and put them on for the final product. Usually, give the price and whatever. I'm just trying to figure out. Let me know if you think that's kind of heavy. But let me know if you think that would be too much on this smaller wreath. Because I can make a larger wreath and put it on. So I think that one's probably just a bit too big for that. But I was kind of thinking that we might use this sign on it. Or if that's a little overpowering, I might just use this. Haven't quite decided on the final effects. All I decided on is how I was going to do a mesh right. But we'll get artistic tomorrow and get it all decorated up and get it ready. And if anybody likes it, just let me know. And I'm glad you joined me, Patty. And I will be talking to you. I need to get over by your place in a couple days. I've got that other wreath for you. And it kind of starts, I've got to kind of hit the wreaths I have promised to the people I promised them to, because I kind of need the hub space. Hi, Peggy Leland. You like this one? That's the one you like? Did you like it all like this or just with this part? Did you just pop on there? Because I didn't see you come on, or I would have told you hello. Oh, you like it all? So like this. All right. I just don't like that. Sometimes I'm afraid when I start getting them blinged out, I put too much on. But I'm sorry. When I see fray, I get all. I have to get my scissors in there. Yes, just the last 5 minutes. That's what I thought. Well, you can watch it all the way from the beginning, because I will put it on the side if you want to. Sometimes I think, I don't know why people watch, because maybe it's kind of boring. I just sit here and talk to myself, or if somebody pops on or says something. I'm really proud of myself tonight, because I do have the computer. Like, here's the camera. My computer's over here, and I can actually see the comments. So that's pretty good for me. I don't even have my glasses on. Must not have used my eyes too hard today. Usually at night they get a little. Anyway, and I was just getting ready to say goodbye, because Patty's just sitting there all quiet. But I'm glad you showed up. Oh, okay. You mean the mesh? For those doors that are painted alike? Oh, cool. Cool. Well, we'll have to talk about it more when you get the stuff and get ready, or you're going to have to show me what you're thinking. I know that's what you said. That wasn't very nice of her, huh? Or is it that twins just think alike? Yeah, that's what you said. You'll just have to show me the picture. I can't duplicate it. I won't even try. But I can come up with one similar. You have to watch those copyright rules. There's a couple of people out there in the craft world that kind of get hung up about that. So I'm being very careful. Does it have decorations, or is it just the mesh and the ribbon? Oh, good. Then do you want hers a little different from yours? That way your doors don't exactly match? What do you have up there for craft stores? Do you have anything there in town? Do you have anything up there in town for craft stores like we have Michael's and Hobby Lobby, and yeah, we have Hobby Lobby. I like Hobby Lobby. And I like keep your eye open because every other week, ours here anyway, does 50% off usually every other week. One week it's like material and stuff, and the next week it's like the flowers and the mesh and stuff. And so you can save a lot if you that, and also download the if you don't get one if you have to pay full price for something, you can get the app if you go on your phone. I have a smartphone, and I downloaded a Hobby Lobby app, and then you can get coupons on there. Sometimes for like 40% off an item or 50% off an item, or sometimes it says 20% off your whole order. I don't know. They have different little coupons. I make sure I keep my eyes. I have that app, Joanne's app, and Michael's app all there. And that can save you quite a bit. Because sometimes that mesh, depending on the kind you want, can get real expensive. I also try to stay away from the 21-inch rolls because they're real. They can be $15 a roll. Also, if you can't find the mesh you want, Peg, if you go to papermart.com, you can look on there to see what they have. Now, I just got an order for them, and it looks like really nice mesh. Didn't take them too awfully long to get it in. And they also have ribbon and stuff. But that way you might be able to find, if you can't find what you're looking for, that or they have it at Craft Outlet. You just have to watch when you do that kind of thing for your shipping cost and make sure that your shipping cost isn't outrageous. At Hobby Lobby or at Paper Mart? Excuse me a moment. I have to go rescue our mascot. If you broke that, you little turd. Our mascot's been chewed on. That's okay. Still looks like an easel. Yeah. I just got a shipment from them. I'm really excited to begin working with them. That mesh. I guess I could turn this towards me and then it would look like I was actually talking to you, huh? But yeah, I got white, pink lavender, and a green. I think it's a green with a blue in it. You go look. I have my box over here. It just came in yesterday. I guess the white I got was a 21-inch. I wonder if they did that on purpose. I thought I got 10-inch. But that's okay. We'll figure it out. Yeah, I got 21 inch by 10 yards of crystal white. Oop, now I move my camera over here. I'm just like all off. Good thing I'm not on TV, huh? Then I got this one. And this is called Emerald Green Navy Deco. And I actually have a plan for this because I think this is the Philadelphia Eagles color. So I have a plan for this one. I got 5 rolls of each though, so I'll have extra. And then I got this one that is called Purple Deco Mesh. It's not really a lavender, it's not really a dark, but it's just purple. I kind of like it, the color of it. But I thought, well, I'll order some and see how it works. And then if I like it, then I'll know where to go because they are pretty. They have good prices. It just cost me about, I want to say the shipping was about the same cost as the roll, as all of my mesh order. So it's kind of like I doubled it. But yet, it actually made it, it was still real affordable because I got 15 rolls of mesh, and I think I paid about, and I didn't realize I got the 21 inch. I really thought that was 10 inch. Silly me. Their site's kind of weird sometimes. But yeah, I'm going to be, I've got to find, I haven't been able to find black mesh, and they were actually out online. But I need to find some black mesh to work with this. It'll be white, black, and this color, emerald navy blue. Can't remember what color because I kind of looked up the Eagles colors, and they actually called it, it looks green, but it's actually called midnight, maybe midnight green. So it has like a bluish tint to it. So this was the closest I could find that would match. So I'm getting my supply built up. Actually, I have so much that, yeah. I did start getting though my spring colors. I've got pinks, I've got teals, well, not really teals, light blue, maybe teal. I have a lot of dollar mesh, but it really frays so bad. And it's only 6 inches. Well, this is the 10 inch. And I would really like the 10 inch. 21 inch works great if you make a poof wreath, where they poof it. And now what they're doing is they're doing poof and ruffles. You can poof the whole wreath, and then you can put a ruffle in where each poof goes in. Or I've seen it now where they cut like a 30-inch roll or a 30-inch piece, and they go from one tie to the next tie, and they leave about 4 inches on each end, and they either leave it in curls or they make it ruffles. I haven't got that experimental yet. I like the style, but I'm not quite there. But I am getting good with the ribbon though, Peg, so that's a good thing. But anyway, Michael and Nick should be home from the gym soon, and they like have no, they don't understand I'm online and anybody can see them and it's live. It's not like I can go back and edit it. So I probably should get off of here that, and I have to see what Lamba's up to. I think she's getting into more trouble. She did chew my mascot, but that's okay because it still sits up. I knew it fell off, but I didn't realize she woke up and jumped off the couch. It's like, what are you chewing on? Anyway, I have to go take care of her. I think she might need to go outside too. On the ones that I did, you like the ribbon on them? Did you see the spring one I did? That was my first attempt at ribbons. I think that was the bluish one with the 2 white birds on it. But anyway, all right. Well, let me go let Lamba out and take care of that. I'll be back in a couple of days or sooner. I don't know. I did it twice today, so we'll just see what the schedule holds. So bye, Pat. Bye, Peg. Glad to see you both, and we'll be talking with you all soon. Everybody have a wonderful evening. Let's see if the mouse works. This mouse is kind of particular. It doesn't want me to shut off. All right. We'll see everybody later. Bye-bye.